the fight, man, the hunt. I love it. I love that, the pursuit of a challenge.
Well, hello. I used to think design was a bridge. Like, there's a problem, there's a solution, you go from point A to point B. And that was kind of like very mathematical, very like transactional and, linear in a way. I'm gravitating towards the concept of design as a conversation. So now I see at this, early in my career, I thought design is a bridge. And now I think design is more like a room for conversation, a space. We need to create a space where people come together. We just had a meeting with the, bunch of business owners from the Makers District. And we're trying to create, the identity and the look and feel and the culture of that place. The first thing you need to do, the first design you need to design is the group itself. I am a father of 2 daughters, right? Cartel is my boy. It's my kid, That's the only way I can describe it. I think, for every designer out there that has the dream of having their own agency, I can tell those dreams is just a fantasy. You don't create an agency because you have this dream of this passion. You create it when you needed it. So what happened in my personal story is, I left Express Scripts in 2018. I had a mentor, an agent in New York, which I still do. She was facilitating illustration work. It was really cool for 2 years. And then pandemic hit, 2020. And then I was like, well, this is the time. I'm going to do my company. So because there was no other way of doing anything else. There was no illustration work. I had 2 years of just being isolated and being more artistic. I was doing illustration for Wall Street Journal, for the Times, for Lincoln Center. And then the pandemic happens and nothing was there. So I was like, this is when. I remember Sam Foxman said, the minute you take the decision, you'll see how this community will help you. Just because they know what you're going through. And I will never forget that advice. And then all those relationships suddenly was like, finally, here's a job. Oh, you need another designer, hire someone. Before I knew it, we have 3 designers working our ass off, I always remember like there was a lot of negative connotations like about St. Louis in the conversation, like, oh my God, this is a, Bible Belt city, all this racism, St. Louis is like all negativity, right? And I remember, and I talked about this before, and I remember I was like, wait a minute, are we talking about like Mark Twain, St. Louis, like Josephine Baker, St. Louis, T.S. Eliot, St. Louis? Because I knew all those references from literature, from theater, from, Tennessee Williams. So my understanding of St. Louis prior to all the negativity that actually I end up, fighting and, advocating against and trying to make this place a better place. My first time was like, no, wait, this is a cool city. There's a lot of interesting talent here that historically there is such a level of intelligence in this town. Yeah. There is the IQ of this city must be probably one of the highest in the country. All the intellectuals that are here, all the people that are the academics, the scientists that nobody talks about, because in this American way of life, there is a profound anti-intellectualism, and this is a very profound intellectual city. I remember when I used to work at in a boutique design firm at the very beginning when I arrived here, we had this, we were designing a retail space, right? And everything was perfect. The graphics, the things, we had this beautiful prototype of the store. And I was like, okay, we have the patterns, we have the thing, the flow, the lighting, everything is just, what's missing? Something is missing, And I remember my mentor at the time said, well, what is missing is people. That prototype is not the store, because people make places. And that sentence, people make places, it's really one of the mottos that I always keep in mind, because a place is what it is because of the people that are in it. Places otherwise are just empty shells, right? So I think St. Louis needs more people, and more people that challenges the way St. Louisians think.